I'm Christine Beadle. I'll be your instructor, and I'm going to show you how to make a pie chart. Today I've imported a pie chart from a pool of pie charts that I gave the class. This particular pie chart here, I have taken the numbers from and placed them on the screen. I'm going to move the pie chart out of the way, hoping to have a clean area to work from. Here we have 30 hogs, 45% dogs, 10% logs, and 15% frogs. We are going to go down to the pie bar chart and hold on the little arrow in the bottom right hand corner, go to the pie chart tool and let go. We're going to click up here and accept the pie graph, and we're going to type in 30%. You can put a decimal in front of it, and then we'll hit return, and then we'll click on the next area to the right of that, and we'll type in 40.45 and hit return, and then click on the next area, and it would be 0.10 and hit return, and the next area would be 0.15 and return, and we have our chart. Now let's say OK, and it looks kind of tiny here. I should have switched tools, and I'm going to delete this one right here, delete that one, and close this out. And I'm going after the first one that I clicked on here, and I'm going to grab the corner of it and hold the shift key and enlarge this. Now, if it's so tiny that you can't enlarge it, you might have to go to your size tool. Your size tool looks like this right there, and I'll just size this up holding the shift key. I want it to be I have warped it. Do Command Z. I want to use my black tool and then use my size tool, my black arrow, and then just press and drag straight down, or straight. I'm going catty-corner. It seems to be working that way. Anyways, it draws that chart in those selected things. So I'm going to switch out of that and select this with the black arrow so that I can ungroup. And I'll go to Object and Ungroup. Ungrouping the selection will break it away from the actual chart, and that's what I want to do. I'll hold my shift key and pull on the corner and make it nice and big. Now, one thing you want to do when you do a pie chart is you want to put the biggest piece in the back and the second biggest piece to the back, and that's because when we stack these things in chunks of pie that stick up, we don't want a whole lot of the work to be hidden. I'm going to get close, mouse close, and you get the curvy arrow. There you see it. And once you get the curvy arrow, hold the shift key and just rotate that a bit. And that's going to put the smallest pieces in the front and the larger pieces to the back. Perhaps maybe a little more turn. You don't have to hold the shift key if you don't want to. And this puts these dead front, and that's what we want, because we don't want to cover up our small pieces with our large pieces. Now we'll go to the menu bar and go to Window and get our color window up. Our color window is up here. We want swatches, and that is the wrong color window. Let's close that color window. We want to go to Window And swatches. Now let's look here, swatches. Now swatches gives you Pantone color choices, and we're going to be happy with those choices. First of all, we're going to break our object apart, ungrouping. Once we ungroup it, make sure I have to ungroup it a couple times, maybe more than once. I'm going to check it, make sure that it is okay. It looks like it's all ungrouped. We'll go back and check. Yes, it is ungrouped. Now, with our pie chart ungrouped, we can now color them, but we do not want to put a stroke on it. So let's just select the whole thing and take the stroke off. We'll click on the stroke, bring the stroke box forward, and click no stroke. On the fill box, it has a question mark. That's fine, but we do want that fill box to the front now. Next, we're going to select on our largest piece. That was dogs, and dogs was 45% and was red. So we'll select a CMY case red. The hogs is 30% and green. We'll pick a nice green. We don't want too dark of a green because green tends to darken up a bit more than we want, so I'll pick a light green. We will pick a blue, a nice light blue for the frogs, and an even lighter color for the logs. And let me see if I can find a nice light color here in the color swatches. Yeah, well, we'll just have to live with this. We'll make this one a little darker. And I had to undo there to get a pie piece back, and then I'm going to choose, I'll choose yellow for the last logs. That's nice and light, and that will give us a colorful chart. Okay, now we have no stroke. We have our pie chart done. Now we are going to go through the process of doing a 3D effect on this chart. So the first thing we'll do is we want to take our biggest piece, which will be the furthest back, and we will select Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel. And with the Select 3D Extrude and Bevel, we'll rotate the colored part, which is the flat part that we're seeing, to the front. And I believe it was about 60 and 15 and 15. Let's try that. 15 and 15. And I think that will do. Let's click preview and see if we like what our pie piece is doing. That is not tall enough, and we want to have these in about 20 points increment. So if the littlest one is 20, the next one would be 40, 60, 80. So let's try 80 for right now for the tallest one, and say OK. I want that preview to work. Okay, that is 80, and then the next one will be, say OK, say OK. Then the next one I'll select. We will do 3D Extrude and Bevel, and I forgot to put a bevel on that, so let's cancel this and do a Command Z, and let's go back again and try this again. I'm kind of disappointed in the angle of this pie chart, so we're going to try again at a little different angle. 3D extrude and bevel, and this time rotate this around, and we'll leave this at 20, and then oops, that's, so I want it to be minus, that would be, let's try 60. Notice the pie chart is really going crazy here. So let's try another one. View, Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel. And we want to roll this around. We're going to try 0 and 0 here and see how that works for the second two. And let's try 60 on the top one. I forget how I did it before, but I think that's good enough. And then we're going to try making this 25 points a piece. So be 25, 50, 75, and 100. So we'll try 100 points deep. And then we're going to click Preview and see. Yeah, that's given a nice pie chart look to it. So we'll say OK with that. We'll go back to Effect, 3D, and Bevel. And we forgot to put the bevel. I forgot to put the bevel on again. So let's undo. Command Z. And do our effect again on the first one. We got to make sure. I've got to make sure that I am making making this around 60, 0 and 0. And then I want to choose, the one I keep forgetting, is a bevel, and it's clear down the tall round. That's going to give a new look, and I'm going to click Preview, and you're going to see the difference. There's a nice highlight on that. That is what we're going for. So we'll say OK. Then we're going to go back to Effect, 3D, Bevel. Oops, cancel. Here we want to select a new piece. Going to go Effect, 3D, Bevel. And again, we're going to have to set this at 60. I think the last one was 67, but I'll show you what that does. In the end, one piece won't fit. But we'll do 60, 0, and 0. And this is going to be set, instead of 100, it will be set to 75. And now you hit Preview and look at your piece, and it does not have a bevel on it either, so I have to go down, put a bevel on it, and then say OK. Now we're going to select the next piece and go again. We're going to repeat this again and again. We're just lowering the height. If this one was 100, this one was 75, this one's going to be 50, and so we're at 50 there. We're setting this to be 60 degrees and 0 and 0, and select the bevel to be at the very bottom, tall round, and say OK. And there's the last piece. We're going to select this last piece, Effect, 3D, Bevel, and again setting 60 degrees, setting 0 degrees, setting 0 degrees, and down here we'll select 25, and select our bevel. You just work your way down, and it's hard to remember, but now we'll click a Preview and check it. Yes, we got our pieces together. Say OK. Now we'll get our black arrow and we're going to arrange these pieces so that they sit lining this piece, this edge up with this shadow here, and it should bump down just by stair steps. Okay, this one's underneath, so we'll do object arrange and bring to the front, and now he's sitting in the right place, or she, whatever. Okay, and the last one is this piece, and it's going to snug in between these two, and it is in the wrong level. So we'll have to do object bring to the front. Here we go. Object arrange, bring to the front. Now it's sitting in the right place, and we're going to just line this edge up. We want a nice smooth edge. I can use my arrow key moving these up, move my arrow key moving this one up, and my arrow key moving this one down and over. Oops, it's over too far. And this one needs to be nudged in here a bit. And just play with them and get them so these edges look smooth. Now it's a bit hard to get these placed because they're when you move them, all you're seeing is this flat piece, and you can't really follow that. So now we've got to bring this blue one in front. It does look like it is not sitting in this correctly, and it might be that I had that first piece a bit off as far as the degrees, but if you stick with that first 60 degrees, then this pie chart is going to flow together perfectly. I think I had this red piece at 67 when we started, and that makes this not fit in here properly. And we'll always have a discrepancy because it's at a slightly different angle. Anyways, I'll show you the mistakes I made. That way you won't maybe make those mistakes. And this is your pie chart. Watch the other movie. You can watch me make a pie chart in a different manner and place a photo in it. Thank you.